Welcome to Sacred Hoops Podcast. My name is Lee Palmer, Sacred Hoops, joined by Executive Director Alan Bertram and Player Development Director Brendan Boomsma. We'd like to thank you for this edition of our podcast. We've had a couple, I don't want to say heavy ones, but we've had some very hard-hitting ones. This one is going to be a little bit on the future and looking for it. Football season is wrapping up for some. Volleyball season's wrapping up for some. We're going to later on have a full-fledged, we're going to look at a lot of individual players. We're going to look at a lot of things that will be coming up for those players, their strengths, and what to look for with those players. But today we just kind of want to give a little preview on some kids that we know right off the top of our head that we think that are going to make an impact here this year. So first of all, welcome, gentlemen. Coach, we'll start with you. Just some initial thoughts to start with today.
Well, I think we're coming up to a point right now where football's ended, volleyball's and coming towards the end here in the next 2-3 weeks, and everyone's focus and shift is going to be to basketball, and we're just excited to be able to talk about some of the players that we feel are going to have some breakout years. I'm really excited about our player feature that we're going to be coming out with on our podcast here in a month, where we'll have a boys feature and a girls feature and really highlight individually some of those kids. So that's going to be really cool. But today we'll kind of touch base on just some of those kids who probably are going to come out and have some nice years.
Yep. Brendan?
Yeah, like Coach said, about a month away. Yeah. A month away from practices. And things we got rolling because you only have eight or nine practices until the first game. So kids will be ready to go, and football season's ending soon, so the kids are going to be a little rusty getting in the gym. Yeah. But I'm excited to see a lot of good basketball this year, and a lot of even our athletes getting into it.
So let's dive right into it. Let's start looking at some of the seniors that we have seen or going to be, or that are seniors this year on the boys' side that you are looking for or looking to see having a great year or an improved year from last year.
Well, I just personally from our program alone, our 17U teams that we had this summer were absolutely loaded. And so we know we're going to have a ton of kids from our programs that are going to have phenomenal years. Most everybody knows like Anook from Sioux Falls, Washington, and MK and UTEC from Washington. All three of those kids are going to have phenomenal years going on. One kid that I think isn't talked a lot about is the Ambrose kid from O'Gorman. This summer, I thought he had just a phenomenal year for us and just showed such great versatility at 6'4", 6'5", an outstanding outside shooter who can do so many things. He's a kid that if I'm an NAI college coach and I haven't talked to him yet, I'm telling you, you need to get off your rear end and give him a phone call because this kid can hoop. Tash Lunday is another kid that I think is going to have another phenomenal year up at Flandreau for all that. So those are some of the higher profiles. But I'm going to be honest with you, our 17U kids, I thought this year on the boys' side, we had 10 to 15 kids who all are college basketball players and who will go play collegiately. So I'll let Boom talk about a few more, then I can throw a couple more boys in too.
Yeah, I'm thinking more of even multiple players at teams. Like we have West Central boys who's going to be, Jacob Kremkes, Dylan Jackson, Wilson Drogi when he gets back from his injury.
Yep.
That whole team's going to be exciting to watch. See if they can do anything, get to that next point.
Yep.
Burke boys.
Yep.
Burke boys. I mean, we talked about the other night, Ben Witt,
Bryce Frank,
Brogan Glover.
Yep.
Those three can sing. They won 17 games last year.
Yeah.
So that team, then you think about Big Selleck, Chamberlain. He could have a huge year, I think. Flandreau, you got Tash, you have Chase LeBrun.
Chase LeBrun's
flying on the radar, I think.
Yeah. Man, I agree.
I think he had a huge summer.
Chase LeBrun had a phenomenal summer, and the cool thing about Chase is, he's grown in to, he's 6'5", he's got a great body, knock down the outside shot now. I think Chase LeBrun might be the most under-talked about player right now in Class A basketball in the eastern part of South Dakota. Him and Jacob Kremkes. I think, honestly, guys, I was blessed to coach Jacob this summer. That kid is as good of a point guard in South Dakota in any class in South Dakota. He is electric. It's unbelievable. The couple of the other kids I was thinking about too is The Vogley kid from Aberdeen Central. Oh, my Lord. 6'4" lefty who can step out and stroke it. He's tough. He'll post you. He's poised to have a phenomenal year. I love the Zach kid from Groton. He's another just tough kid that can do so many things. I think we've got some really, really good players who can play at a high level. I said this all summer. If we had to took our 10 best 17U kids and put them on one team, they don't get touched by anybody. And that's what's crazy. And by the same token, what's really awesome is the fact that we were able to, like, we combined two of them. We went and won a national championship on the AAU level, and we still didn't have all the best players on that team. And so that's what's really cool about what we had this summer with that group. Boom. I think we got some kids who are going to have some phenomenal years.
I think one that flies on the radar is had a great year for me is Carter from I think Robertson from Parker.
Oh,
high flyer,
yes.
shoots the three well. Then the Goins from Wolsey.
Yes.
I mean, we got big boy going, guard going, so they're gonna be really good too. I think, like you said, we can talk about every one of them, but there's just so many of them that we would have.
Another team I think too, and this could turn into an hour deal, so we don't go too crazy here. But I think the Freeman Academy boys are going to be so legit. Quincy Blue, Thalen Schroeder, Nathan Epp. I mean, you go down the list of that group. That team is going to be. They're poised to make a huge run. I think we've got 5 of those kids playing in our program, and they're all just they have so many intangibles. And what's cool about that particular team is everyone's strengths kind of mold into each other.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you don't have any one of the same type of players. Epson electric point guard. You got Quincy who's just a scorer.
Yeah.
Thalen's such a great athlete. I mean, if those of you who don't know about Freeman Academy, you might want to make sure you get to know them this year. Them and Burke. You got those are 2 teams that did not make a state tournament a year ago that I'm going to tell you are going to win a ton of basketball games. And I not to put pressure on anybody, but both of those teams I think are poised to go make a state tournament run this year.
Absolutely.
I think of 2 kids in our program that didn't get the opportunity to play last summer because of injury. One being Victor Canupi, who's been battling that turf toe, and then Big Scotty up in Enderlin.
Yeah.
I mean, there's 2 guys that missed out on a quote-unquote summer recruiting, but I could both see them coming back with a lot of determination and a lot of grit.
Well, Scotty from up in Ellendale, North Dakota, 6'8", big physical kid who has developed an outside game now where he can step out and shoot the 3. He's going to be a really good college basketball player, and unfortunately couldn't play this summer because of the automobile accident. But he's coming back strong, and so he's most definitely a kid that we'll feature on our upcoming feature show, no doubt about it. On the girls' side, I'm really excited about that too. I think one of the things that haven't been talked about is we've got a lot of our girls, especially on the all-native program, who've been able to come back for that extra year because of them not able to play last year. So you got kids like Stevie Fallis and Sharissa Haas who are both. I mean, Stevie was already being recruited heavily before this all took place. So you got 2 major college players going to be sitting on Red Cloud's high school team. Which I think Red Cloud's got to be a favorite to win it all.
They have
at the A level. So I think they're poised to have great years. A couple of my girls, Josie Hill might be one of the most under recruited kids in our state at 6'2", and her game has developed so tremendously from the 3-point line. She's got some fulls now from some D2s and some of the top JUCO programs in the country. But as she continues to develop, I think she's a Division I talent.
Yeah.
And Sadie Glade obviously is 42% 3-point shooter. So you got some kids there out west who can really play. On the eastern part, that Boone's talking about, I love the Flandrian girls and their grit and their toughness.
That's the one I like. You think of girls basketball this year that could make a statement. I think that's the group. Bella Pavlis. You have Parsley.
Yeah.
Then you get into the younger girls, and you have Claire Shepard's a beast.
Yeah.
Lizzie, and you have all these girls that are putting work in every day too.
Yeah.
Come to our league and they're playing 100% all the time. Sometimes too
hard. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's like, slow down. But
I love that group. I think depth is going to be a little bit of an issue for them, but the 5 kids they put on the floor with the 2 Pavlis girls, Lizzie Pavlis has improved so much. And then you throw Claire in, who's got multiple Division I offers, and then Mia Parsley and Bella Pavlis have been starting forever. Lily Klein has really developed into a nice player. The one kid that they don't talk about because she was hurt this summer is Sadie Ayyett.
Yep.
And she had a back injury, but she's a spark plug. She's a young kid who can really play hard and is going to be somebody who's going to give them some really good minutes. You know, they're going to be, depth's going to be an issue, but the 5 kids they put on the floor in Class A basketball will be as good as anybody in South Dakota.
I think another Class A girl that to watch for, and it kind of came out a little bit last year, but could even improve more, is Zoe Gary.
I think so too, but the thing is how is she going to change her game? Like, we've been working out there the last 3 months, and we're saying, hey, you're going to have a lot of attention on you, you know? So can she take that next level? And I think she can, because she's the gym rat.
She loves the game.
She loves the gym, and she knows she's going to be a lot of pressure on her.
Yep.
But I think her ability to knock down threes
at
a consistent rate is huge. I think of Hadley Carlson from Arlington.
Oh,
athletic.
what a player!
She'll probably run Division I track.
What a player!
That Arlington girls are going to be a team to watch.
Arlington girls in Class B, they're going to be young. Hadley Carlson had a phenomenal summer for us. Just if you watch her play volleyball, oh my Lord, it's unbelievable what she does. But she's just such a great athlete. There's some really good young talent coming up in Arlington, and they're going to be scary this year already, even as young as they're going to be.
Oh, absolutely.
I would agree. I love Ari Noonkeister. I love her toughness down in Iowa. I think she's going to have a phenomenal year. She's she's committed to play NAI basketball next year, and Paige Jewett at Tri-Valley is another kid, man. She's a gym rat. She loves it. She can shoot it. She just does so many nice things. So I see some really good things happening this year. I think that all of our classes, obviously every year you're going to have your top-tier talent, but there's going to be some teams that are going to be able to sneak in and do some things that people aren't talking about.
I think also when you look at McCook Central Montrose and
Ashton Wolbig.
Ashton Wolbig.
Yeah, she's such a nice player, and she's a kid that had a phenomenal year last year. I know she's climbing up the record boards in a lot of categories at McCook, which says something because that program has been really, really good. And Ashton is just a multi-dimensional player. She can shoot the three. She can handle it. She can go post you. She's a kid that played post when she was younger. So she really developed a nice inside game. And then as the last 3 years, she's just worked her tail off. And she's going to be one of the best players in Class A basketball this year. The telltale sign is going to be how much help she gets.
Yes.
And so she's another kid, much like what Boom said with Zoe, is she's going to have to be able to be patient, because defenses are going to throw everything, including the kitchen sink, at her. And she's going to have to be super aggressive with what she does to be able to be effective. Yeah. But she's a college player. She's going to have a nice college career. And she's going to be one of the better players of Class A basketball.
And the last ones I want to throw out, because they weren't able to play because of COVID, and they spent last year in Florida, so a lot of people probably did not get to see them play. But the Drapo twins out at Crow Creek.
Yeah, they had great summers for us too. And I'll throw Malia Estes out there too. She decided to play at Dakota Wesleyan, and in White River, she's going to be absolutely legit again for White River. The Drapo girls at Crow Creek, I think Crow Creek's going to have a really nice season this year. If you haven't seen those two kids play, man, they're worth the price of admission. They're the spark plugs. They're all over the place. They can shoot the three. They D you up hardcore. That team's going to be nice with Hannah Sazoo coming back, and they've got some nice pieces. Maylee Marks, they got some really nice pieces. They're going to be a really good, solid Class A basketball team. No doubt about it.
So we're going to wrap this up here shortly, but I want each of you to give one underclassman that we haven't talked about yet that you can think of that's just going to really step up, that is going to have to, or maybe a senior that didn't play that much for his program that's going to have to step up and have just a really phenomenal year because of circumstances. Either they didn't get a chance to play, or they were too young, or what that might look like.
Well, mine will be easy because I got to coach him this summer, but if people don't know who Jackson Edmond is, they're going to find out in a real quick hurry. Jackson moved up to our 17U team as a 16U kid this summer, and when you watched him play, there was many days he was the best 17U kid we had on a very, very good basketball team. He's really started to work on his outside shot, which has gotten better. He is so aggressive, so physical, and has got such great athletic ability that even at the AA level, and with Keno's coming back to Pierre now, with those two kids on the floor together, you're going to have to play really good to beat them. He wants to be great, Jackson does, and his level of improvement the last year has been tremendous. I really look forward to him having, if he can stay healthy, he will have a phenomenal junior year for Pierre this winter.
I think, asking that question is tough because there's so many. I think that fly on the radar. I think of one that didn't play this summer. He had shoulder surgery. You know him well. Lane Teets out of Groton.
Oh, yeah.
He averaged, 16 a game as a freshman.
Yeah.
Kind of to a team that was 500, not talked about much. But I think he started working out, getting some size on him this summer.
Yep.
I think he's going to have to take it next level, but I think it can be a 20-point per game type level where he's impacting the state, solid. So,
and I want to say just on that too, and then we get wrapped up. I'm going to just turn into our full show. But when you mentioned Lane Teets, Groton is going to have a great year.
Yep.
The Zach brothers who played for us this summer, phenomenal summers. They're legit. Lane is legit. The Kurtz kid is. I mean, that is going to be a really nice basketball team up north, and so I'm excited to see what Groton can do this winter.
Yeah, I'm going to have to cut it off there because we could literally be here. I've got about 13, 14, 15, 20 more boys' names alone just rolling through on who's going to have a big year, and we'll bring all those to you in future podcasts. So for Coach Bertram, Coach Boomsma, and myself, we want to thank you for joining us here today. Check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Look for camps, look for workouts. Reach out to us if you have any questions. We're more than happy to help. This is Lee Palmer saying have a great rest of your day.